everybody, and welcome back to the Dead Funny Review Show. I'm your host, Chris. Join me today are my co-hosts, Kelsey, Cody, and Bree. And today, we are here to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog. We're a little late jumping on this, and I'm kind of glad we are, because there's some news that came out. And so for those of you on my cast and those of you of my viewers that don't know about this, the movie has been delayed. It was coming out in November, and it's being pushed back to February. All the way back to good old February. And for good
And why is that, Chris?
good reason. Because they fucked up the way Sonic looks, and people were outraged.
Because there's classic bitchin'.
Actually, I was pretty impressed. I mean, I feel like this is the first time the internet has ever had an influence on a movie. Like, it's pretty fucking interesting. Like, this is what everybody wishes would happen with the last season of Game of Thrones. Enough people signed a petition
It will happen.
for them to just redo the
calm
last
down.
season.
It will happen.
We'll see.
Okay, let's calm
We'll
down.
see. But anyways, so many people jumped up behind this and rallied behind it. I'm kind of glad it happened. Yeah, because, I mean, that was literally the first thing. I was watching it, and all of a sudden they're, like, showing, like, all these burnt shoes in the corner. And I was like, oh, it's Sonic. And then the first thing, like, I saw was, like, these little itty-bitty tiny white hands pushing a tape in a tape deck player. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And then, like, it got worse from there. It just got worse from there.
So, I am very curious about something.
Hit me.
Are any of us Sonic fans at all?
I grew up on Sega.
Oh, are
I grew
you?
up on Sega. Yep.
Okay.
I don't think there's a Sonic
Are
game
you
I haven't
like
I
played.
like
a
Sonic.
modern?
What's that?
Wait. Hang on, Chris. Say that last thing that you just
There
said
is
again.
not a Sonic game I haven't played. That doesn't mean I like all of them. A lot of the modern Sonics are fucking trash. Absolute terrible.
Okay, thank you. That's the point I was getting to here.
Yes, a lot of
It's
the new
when-
ones are very fucking bad. Very fucking bad.
I can't remember what ones I've
Well-
played, but I know I played some when I was younger. The Sega,
Like-
you said?
Well, it was on
Yeah,
multiple things.
they were like the Sega version of Mario.
Yeah, it was Sega's, like, back in the day, every console had, like, its big juggernaut, and some people like Nintendo had multiple, like, Zelda and Mario. Sega had Sonic, and that was the best part is like you never really had like a whole like Nintendo thing said during like a Mario game. It was just like always, oh, it's me, Mario. For fucking Sonic, it would just show him like running across the screen, and then you'd hear Sega. Like that was a classic every time you turned on the fucking system and put that game in. Every single time. Every time. I watched all the Sonic cartoons growing up, every single one of them. I watched the Sonic movie.
You have a cartoon?
See-
Yes, God, yes.
Maybe
Oh,
that's
my
Yeah,
what I
God.
well, the
watched.
cartoon
Cartoon
was
was
actually
so
pretty
good.
popular.
There's multiple.
But it doesn't
multiple.
feel like they're making the cartoon. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I feel you.
Like the cartoon Sonic was like a very like 80s kind of like childish
Well, it depends on which one you're talking
sort of
about.
like I like corn dogs and saving the
Okay,
world.
okay, I know
you
which
know,
one
like
you're
that
talking
was
about now.
Sonic.
Okay, the
Or chili
the chili dog,
Sorry,
the
not
chili
corn
dog
dogs.
instantly told me which one you were talking about. I was kind of confused. So you watched.
Well,
You watched
yeah.
the one-
If I had said corn dog, that people are going to be mad about that. So
Yeah,
sorry,
true,
chili
true,
dog.
Chili
I know
dog,
it's chili dog.
which is actually one of the things I was going to say during the show. Is if there's not a fucking chili dog in the movie, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
I don't know that there's gonna
better
be.
be.
I don't think they know anything about Sonic other than he goes fast.
That might be true.
Judging by the trailer,
that might be true.
nothing is familiar
That might be true.
other than going fast.
That was like the only thing. Yeah, true,
'Cause-
fair enough. Because he even says a little catchphrase. He's like, "Gotta go fast," and I was like, "All right, you gotta go fast enough to where I can't see what the fuck you look like, so that way I can enjoy this movie. That'd be great." Constantly. Good lord.
Well, and that's what, just like the setting of the movie right now, I'm very confused by. Because, like, my idea of what Sonic is, and I could be wrong about this, all I know is he's a magic hedgehog that runs fast and fights an evil doctor. And for some reason in this, there's like a military presence.
So basically,
that Dr. Robotnik is part of the hierarchy of. Wait, is it Robotnik or Eggman? I
so
don't
his
remember
nickname
which
is
one is
Eggman.
which.
but his actual title is Dr.
Okay.
Robotnik. That is correct.
Who is Mega Man's guy?
Mega Man is Dr. Wily.
That's okay. Okay, so Dr.
Dr.
Robotnik.
Light
I'm
is who
just
created Mega Man.
confused.
Dr. Wily was the evil counterpart.
I am confused how Dr. Robotnik fits into the hierarchy of a military. I cannot imagine that they would let him exist.
So that-
and I do not know why it's in the movie.
That, in my opinion, is just like doing like a comedy aspect with Jim Carrey. I think that's why that
Jim
whole thing
Carrey.
is done that way, because it's more along the lines of like Dr. Robotnik is funny, but he's funny as like I'm extremely overweight and stuff happens to me because I'm extremely overweight. That's ha ha ha, funny, hilarious type deal. Because I mean, Dr. Robotnik's like 800 pounds, you know, in the cartoon and in the games, he's like a huge guy.
Yeah, he's
so
a
like, you know,
circle with dick
yeah.
length.
So like, if
Yeah.
he's like on a car and fucking Sonic runs by and knocks the car over, and fucking Dr. Robotnik rolls out on his back, he's like, "Oh, help me, I can't get up," which where the whole nickname Eggman came into play from Sonic. That was actually like a Sonic thing. So, as far as that goes, but in some of the cartoons and in the movie's so fucking good. Oh my god, the movie's so good. And actually, I got this movie when I was a kid, and then I want to say my dad pawned the movie and we lost it. That movie is worth like $180. A fucking Sonic movie. I mean, you can go watch it for
I
free.
think
on
it was worth
YouTube.
50 cents.
Back then, it was fucking cheap as shit. But it's so insane, like how extremely expensive that movie is. But anyways, so in the actual games, basically, Eggman runs a military of robots, and that's how like Sonic has people to fight to get to Eggman, is getting through all these different robots, which you kind of saw in some of the cartoons that you watched, where you had the two fucking the chicken robot and the small dude with the fucking drill nose. Those were like his main two, but they
Oh
always
wow,
had
I do
people.
vaguely remember
Mhm.
that.
That was the only one that did the chili dogs. That was the only one. The other one, well, no, the other one did too. There's another one where it like introduces like
I thought
Sonic's
does the game
vast
not have
world.
chili
No,
dogs?
The game doesn't do chili dogs. You do rings, and that's it. The power.
Oh,
rings.
weird. Okay.
So,
Well,
And
no,
the
I knew
Luigi
that. I
with-
still thought he would like eat a chili dog.
yep, no, the games don't do the chili dogs. Maybe some of the newer ones do, but once again, like I said, those are trash, and I can't. That was like I played it once, and that was it. The other ones I played through multiple times. I fucking love Sonic growing up. But so yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with it. I mean, Robotnik's always been a big part of Sonic's story, regardless whether the cartoon, what cartoon or what game. So at least they kept that going. But it's gonna be weird to see if they add more Sonic characters in, like if we are gonna be able to see Tails or Knuckles or Amy or anybody like that. That'd be kind of interesting. But we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. Honestly, not.
I don't know. Right now I'm just very confused by like everything. It was the everything cuz I think Jim Carrey's a good actor, but I don't think he's a good choice for Eggman, and I don't think he's trying very hard with the role. It just seemed way too stupid right away.
Yeah,
You know what I
Try to
mean?
play on that really hard because I mean, like I said, that's pretty much his character. Is that he's this crazy scientist that's extremely fucking smart, but yet he gets himself in the dumbest situations because Sonic is fast. So it's like, okay, cool. Fast beats
It
everything.
kind of felt like a Detective Pikachu movie almost.
I haven't seen that yet, so no spoilers for me.
No,
I haven't
it's
seen
that-
it
it's
either.
Cody.
I'm saying like the trailer seems
Yeah.
similar, like how the style that
Well-
they did Detective Pikachu and then
Definitely.
Sonic.
I think
And I
it's-
don't think that was an accident.
Yeah, no.
Like I don't think
I think we're gonna see that for a
that
while.
Sonic
I think we're going to see
Yeah.
that for a while. Is a lot of our older stuff from our generation being brought to big screen
Mhm.
CGI / real life people as well, mixed in to kind of give us a feel of that, which kind of sucks because like that's one of the main things that I've seen complaints so far, is that the fact that this is going to take place in like the modern Earth, because Sonic even says that in the trailer. Whenever Robotnik's behind him, and he's all like, "I think I'm here to save your planet," and it's all like, "So okay, why didn't we just do this?"
Is he an alien?
He's not an alien, no. I don't know how the fuck he got there. That's
The
that's what
hedgehog.
I don't understand how he got there.
It's a hedgehog, right?
Which is weird. Yeah, he's a hedgehog. Yes, Sonic is a hedgehog. Which is weird because the beginning of the trailer makes it seem like he's been living there for a while. He's got a house underground. He had like all those fucking shoes
Well,
in a
house.
pile. I mean, he's a fucking
He had a hobo home.
He's
Chris.
a fucking
It wasn't
wild
a house.
animal. That's how they've always done it in the cartoons. Like all their houses and bases are underground and shit. All the animals together. So it's just how it is. But I don't know. It'd be pretty interesting. What was funny is I was watching another channel that I like to watch a lot, Funhouse, and they're huge Sonic fans, and they're talking about it. And one of the main favorite Sonic guys were like, all I'm looking forward to is when we go to start walking to the movie theaters, like way before the movie comes out, and we start seeing posters.
Yaters.
And we start seeing posters for this movie, and it's literally just going to be different shots of all the different Sonic characters' crotches. You know, like how they always do, like where they're not trying to show you the face yet, so they're trying to be mysterious about it. And it's like it's literally going to be like their body and down to their legs, and it just showed like Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Amy, all their crotches are just all the way across. I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
Questionable.
That is really funny.
But they already showed us what he looked like, and everybody fucking went crazy.
But I've never thought of a trailer as being really used for feedback this way before.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've heard of, oh, hey, trailer's released, audience lost their shit in a bad way, and then they're going, ha, we heard you, sorry. We'll do it again. Like, I've never heard of that before,
Yeah.
and I'm really glad that they listened to their
Yeah.
fans. And that, can you imagine if they doubled down and they're like, no, we made it, suck it up. Like, I'll bet you, A, fewer people would have gone, and B, the movie would have been a colossal failure as a result. They actually have a chance now to not screw it up, and that's really cool. They gave themselves that by being humble and honest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, Sonic
I'm
is like
unsure.
a niche too, so like because it's a niche, they really need the people that are loyal to Sonic to go to the
Well, I think one of the
Yes.
saddest parts were is like, what was the one fallback they would have? Is that, well, the video game version isn't realistic enough for like this realistic world and the CGI aspect. Is usually where people fall back on, like directors and shit like that. That's what they fall back on as far as, you know, that didn't work. But literally every complaint that came in, there were like 100 different pictures of like fucking students, college students or high school students who were making
Yeah.
this full CGI'd Sonic and putting him in the scenes of the movie where it looked like actual Sonic, and they're all like, all right, now what? You want to hire me to come do the movie? Because I can come fucking do it. Like, so they were just like, okay, well, they kind
we're
of
not
caught
gonna
up
win
along.
this
I am
argument.
unsure. I'm unsure if I think this is actually a good idea or not.
The Sonic movie?
Like-
Or
Why?
the feedback aspect?
them
Well,
them
the Sonic movie is a terrible idea, and I think it's going to be bad. But the remaking,
I agree.
remaking the movie based on feedback from like people complaining about the character. Like, the problem is the biggest issue with this movie, I don't think is going to be that Sonic looks dumb. He does, but that's not going to get rid of the problem. Is the movie as a whole? Because all they're going to do is go back in and just erase CG Sonic and paste in a new CG Sonic that looks less stupid, which is fair. But the problem is a lot of movies are getting butchered like this, and that's how we end up with movies like Suicide Squad or Justice League that are like these terrible hatcheted movies where they like finished a movie, showed it to a focus group, and they're like, well, this is garbage. And they're like, we'll save it in editing, guys. It's not dead. It's fine. We can fix it. It's like, no, you really can't. It's dead.
So
It's already
to
dead.
me, on that aspect, to me, it's like you can improve a franchise as it goes on. Usually, a lot of the times, the first movie's not the best, and sometimes it is. I've heard people 1,000 times tell me the first Deadpool was way better than the second one. I disagree. I like the second one a lot. But that being
I
said,
think those were both good movies, but I think the
Fair.
big universe movies, if the first movie sucks, it's usually pretty like damning for the rest of it.
to an extent,
Yeah.
and it depends on how you move forward with it. But see, this where I'm coming with the Sonic aspect is that they, in my opinion, if everybody would have just, let's say they would have made Sonic look like Sonic, and everybody would have been like, oh wow, I think Jim Carrey's a bad casting choice, or oh wow, it's not in fucking Green Hill Zone, it's fucking on Earth, this is fucking trash, change that. I don't think any of that would have got changed. I would have think that they would have just released a movie.
Yeah.
But in order for them to even look at the aspect of having a franchise, having the iconic main character actually look like the iconic main character is probably a good thing to listen to whenever it comes to feedback. I really don't think that that's too much of a change. The movie still might suck, and that's fine. But at least it looks like Sonic. So they have a chance for later on down the road to be like, okay, so this isn't what happened, or this is what did happen, and this is what didn't work. Let's try to do something else, and we can have this Sonic, because this is what the fucking fans wanted, and give them an actual Sonic movie. So it sucks that it might be a
Yeah.
failure, but I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't go and make a Mario movie and then give him like a fucking Hitler mustache and like no overalls and expect everybody to be okay with the way the fucking Mario movie's going to look. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Now that
Kelsey's awake
Kelsey's out
now.
of her deep meditation.
Yeah.
Anyways, she had to access her inner Sonic. That's what it was.
Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, it's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, I could see people. I mean, because I get where you're coming from, where like too much criticism at some point you're just letting the fans create the movie, and they're not professionals, so the movie's gonna suck.
A dangerous game.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I mean, there's plenty of game studios out there that listen to their fans like crazy, and their games have suffered because of that. Like you gotta know how to pick and choose your battles, and I think that this was a good battle for them to be like, look, we're not gonna fucking win this one.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
gonna
And
happen.
I can see them going like, okay, the writing's on the wall with this, and if we don't change it, it's going to be problematic. But I don't know. I'm confused by the fact that people are still making video game movies. And I know I'm saying this right after I went and saw Detective Pikachu and liked it, but Detective Pikachu got a lot of things right that a lot of these types of movies don't. And historically, like, video game movies are always terrible. And I know, like, one of us likes Sonic, but, like, realistically looking at it, Sonic is not, like, an A-list property anymore.
Whoa, he used to be.
For people our age...
He used to be. For people
No, I
our
mean, look,
age, we should
yeah, he
know who the
used to
fuck
be.
Sonic is.
Well, no.
People our age,
Well, right,
maybe the
right, we
next
should,
generation
right.
should not know who the fuck Sonic is. Like, oh, it's that one guy
That's
from
what
Smash
I'm saying,
Bros.
though. Is, like, for me, like, I grew up and played Sonic sometimes. I had a friend that had a Sega, he had Sonic. But if you're, like, 15 now, like, what's Sonic? It's the terrible games on the Nintendo that everyone makes fun of. That's all Sonic is. It's a joke now. You know? So it's like, why are you picking this, like, very unloved or very narrowly loved game? You know what I mean? Because it's like, Sega failed ultimately. They're not the one that had a lot of staying power.
Oh,
The
I've
Sonic
totally
games
got
that
the
are coming
answer to
out-
this.
Huh,
Go ahead.
Is it
Sorry.
cheap?
No,
Well,
the
I
answer
guess
to
I
this
just think it's a
is
confusing property to pick. Sorry, go ahead, Kelsey. I didn't mean to-
just based off of sheer numbers. Millennials are the largest generation, and we are currently in a place where most of us don't have kids, or we still have very young kids. And so they're selling to us both nostalgia in Sonic and, hey, if you do have kids, you can take your kids to this movie because it's family friendly and you can share your nostalgia with your kids.
Well,
And so they are absolutely targeting this market, and that's why we're seeing so much of this. Is because we are
For
by
sure.
numbers a huge generation, and they
Well,
want our money.
I like.
are you
Fine.
familiar with the term the 30-year cycle?
Yes, I am. I also think it's
So-
a little bit marred by the baby boomers and the fact that they all came back and had 2.5 kids. But continue.
Well, no, so it's basically just the notion that every 30 years culture repeats itself
Yes.
because the people that were consuming culture as children get old enough to start making movies. So, like,
Yeah.
if I'm going to make a movie, I'll make it about something that was formative to me, which would be something from 30 years ago. It's
Mhm.
why, like, a few years ago, we were seeing a lot of stuff from the 80s, and in the next
Yes.
few years, we're going to start seeing a lot of stuff from the 90s. Like, there's a reason why Stranger Things came out. There's a reason why it is coming out, like, almost exactly 30 years after it came out.
Man, dude.
Um,
It's so good.
And that's exactly what Sonic and kind of Detective Pikachu are. Is they're cashing in on the fact that now the millennial generation, which is nothing against us being millennials, just like that generation of people, now
Mhm.
have disposable income, so they're selling us stuff, you know?
So what you're saying
Which
is we're getting
is
old,
fine.
basically.
Yes, we are turning ancient. Gray hairs are sprouting. Our skin is sagging. We're
No,
losing the
no,
ability
we're
to stay up on
becoming-
the lingo.
I like my.
We're
theory.
becoming economically relevant, is what it is.
That is what's actually happening.
I like.
Yeah,
my
we have
theory
money now, that's the
so
difference.
much
No getting
better.
old. We're not getting wrinkly now yet. Not yet, guys. Don't worry.
My theory
No crow's
is
feet.
more along the lines of we had one guy who chose to stand up and be the hero to save the Sonic name. Since all of these shitty games came out, he's like, I'm gonna teach these youngins what Sonic was actually about. God dang it! That's my story.
And he
That's a
got
very
Jim
noble
Carrey to
thought.
do bad Sonic.
I mean, where the
yeah.
fuck did Jim Carrey come from? Like, that dude's been gone
Yeah,
for
right?
fucking ever. Didn't he have like a mental breakdown or something? Am I remember that right? I could have swore like Jim
No, I
Crazy
don't
went
think
Carrey.
Mental
Or-
breakdown?
Jesus Christ. I could have swore he did. I know for a fact there was at one point where he did like this whole like YouTube video where all he did was just talk about how much he was in love with Emma Stone for like a solid like 2 hours or some shit. Where that was the only
That's
topic,
Wait,
right?
what?
I'm dead serious. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. I'm like 99.9% sure I'm right about this.
I'm gonna Google this later.
I know,
'cause
like-
that's something that I.
Why are
I'll
you
Google this
confirm.
now.
Kelsey's all like, no.
Because I mean, look, when I was in high school, I definitely made videos about how much I loved Emma Stone, but I didn't post them to YouTube.
It definitely pops up when you type it.
Yeah, told you. Boom. See, I'm in
Yeah,
that
well,
weird
going
spot.
That's
crazy.
an interesting.
I'm in
fact.
that weird spot. See, usually I fact check myself before I throw this stuff out there, but I'm in that weird spot where I forgot to where I forgot to check where my Internet Explorer was before we started recording, so I don't want it to pop up over Skype. So yeah, I just kind of have to roll with the punches right now and let you guys do the fact checking for me. I'm pretty sure he
Well,
went, like
I'm
off
gonna
the
learn
walls,
something
man.
real creepy about him.
Yeah, he was just gone for a
Wow.
while.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been in movies in a
Yeah.
while, but I feel like at some point it's like, man, don't, or just do art house movies. Why you doing Sonic for?
Well, he got oddly political for a little while, and people didn't like that very much. That I do remember.
Well, and that to me is like, if you're a crazy successful celebrity and you don't need to work anymore, yeah, get political and like ruin your fan base and burn all your bridges because who cares? You don't need the money anymore. What are you gonna do? Go broke? Like, come on.
I mean, technically, yes, some of them do. Many of these people
Depending
do
on
not
how
know
you
to
spend money.
effectively financially manage.
Well, sell one of your mansions, and I don't feel bad for you.
And
but-
get
or
over it,
start
yeah.
working at Walmart. Yeah, like
That would be
You know?
so fucking weird to walk in and Jim Carrey's just like a greeter at Walmart. I'd be like, all right, what fucking movie are you getting ready to be in? What kind of method acting are you doing right now? I'm not buying your shit. Oh man.
So the trailer didn't look that bad though. I thought he was kind of funny and it didn't look horrible. I was questioning whether I thought it was going to be good though.
I mean, I'm not trying to shit on the movie. I mean, I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. I definitely was one of the people that was like, fucking Sonic looks like ass. That happened for sure. But
We've got that on this channel.
For
You can
sure,
find
for
it.
Sure. Anyways, but they didn't really make him. They definitely messed with his personality, so I wonder how that's gonna work. And I mean, it is just a trailer, so there's a lot more to see. But like, I don't know, he just wasn't like as cocky and shit. I mean, because Sonic for me fits a lot of the same personality as Deadpool. Like Deadpool knows he can't die, so he's cocky as shit and he's cracking jokes all the time. Sonic knows there's no one faster than him. So his chances of getting fucked over in a situation are extremely, extremely slim. So he's really cocky and really cracking jokes all the time. So, I mean, the whole, like, whenever he found him in the garage and he's all like, meow? Like, that was kind of funny. But, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Although, and they did do a little bit of cockiness whenever he knocked over that first truck. And he's like, is that all you got? And then he ran back, and then that's whenever... That was a good Eggman part. Whenever he was all like... Or Jim Carrey.
The missile part too.
The Jim Carrey part, that was pretty good. Whenever he's all like, no, that's not all I have, but thanks for asking. Like, I thought that was pretty fucking funny. And then, like, this other fucking truck jumps out of that truck and starts going after him. Yeah, that was pretty good. Missile part was okay.
He was cocky at the missile part too.
It was okay. I thought
Where all those missiles were
I
there.
thought that one was a little cheesy. That just seemed cheesy to me. But
It seemed cheesy to me too. I also don't like Jim Carrey very much. I don't appreciate his humor, and that's not to discount him as a comedian. It's just not a level of humor I find funny. And so seeing him, I'm like, oh, I'm not actually gonna like this movie because this is a Jim Carrey be funny show, and I'm not gonna have a good time.
fair enough.
Prejudgment, you don't know.
I mean, technically, no. Jim Carrey could have developed an entirely new, more academic shtick, and I might be more entertained. I don't think so, and I don't think if he did, he's gonna bring it out in the Sonic movie.
And like the mask.
there's
Kelsey?
this I just looked up the director. Huh? Is Kelsey dead
No,
again?
Kelsey.
No, I'm here.
Kelsey has come out and
Oh.
said this on multiple podcasts to the point where she's even offended. I'm pretty sure Brandon at some point was saying that the stuff that we like is called dumb humor, and she's just so high.
It's called stupid.
She's
humor.
just so
Let's
high
be real.
above
It's called
stupid humor.
humor.
that it's not good enough for her. So Jim Carrey definitely falls in that role of stupid humor for Kelsey. So
It does.
See,
I'm sorry.
I don't think that's true though. Like, I think that's true for some of Jim Carrey if it's just like Ace Ventura and that's all you know about Jim Carrey, which is fair. He has done some like more juvenile things, but like midway through his career he started like kind of taking himself seriously and doing more serious roles. And that's why this one feels weird. It's like, why
It's
are
neither
you
of those
taking-
things.
why are you taking a step backwards back into doing just Ace Ventura again? You know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
feels weird for him because he did do a lot of excellent work at different points in his career. And now it just kind of feels like, well, I'm in Sonic now. Like, okay, weren't you in good movies? What happened to you? It's kind of like the same thing with Adam Sandler, where they're like digging up all these actors that have names, and they're like, remember him? He's gonna phone it in for this. Like,
Adam Sandler's a fucking
Okay.
very interesting person to me. Like the fact that he literally doesn't do any promotion for any of his movies at all. Like at all. That's pretty crazy. It's just nuts. That's nuts to me. I like Adam Sandler. I don't have any issues. I mean, obviously most of his Netflix movies are fucking terrible, but his old stuff's fucking great. Fucking Billy Madison, all that. I mean, The Waterboy. Oh my god. Mama said, "You tear about Mama that way." I love that shit. That movie's so good.
I just don't think he's done a good movie in about 20 years. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel the same way about Jim.
I don't know. I'd have to actually look at his list and see. But probably. You're probably right. You're probably right. So the actual
Yeah.
chain
Yeah.
of events of that conversation was pretty good. For those of you who didn't see that episode of the podcast, was literally, I don't know how we got to it, but all I said was, Peggy Hill, oh yeah! And then fucking Brandon right after that was all like, damn it, Bobby. And, like, we started laughing. And we noticed that Kelsey wasn't laughing, so then we were trying to tell her that it was from King of the Hill, and she literally goes, "Yeah, see, that's stupid humor, and I don't like stupid humor." And Brandon
on.
immediately was like, "I mean, are you calling us stupid, Kelsey?"
Yeah,
I
Brandon took it
also-
very personally.
I also reject the notion that King of the Hill is stupid
Thank
humor.
you.
I think it's extremely like bleak and miserable
Okay, never mind.
and condemning of
You can
culture.
bug off.
I'm
I was
just
I
saying,
was
Hank
right
Hill
there
is
with
a
you.
moron, and the whole show is just laughing at how stupid this poor man
Yeah,
is,
it's pretty funny.
and how stupid his life
It's pretty
is,
funny.
and he's just trying to find any meaning in this empty existence.
I sell
Wow,
propane and
you got
propane
bleak
accessories.
talking about that. Jesus.
Yeah, well, the guy sells propane and
Propane
propane
accessories.
accessories.
Propane and propane accessories.
That's not a happy thing to say your life is.
It's
His-
good. You're
He
crazy.
said
People
his
only think this
lawn
is
is
funny
his
because he has-
flag.
Does people only think he's as funny because he has a weird accent? Like, is that it? Is it just
Well,
the
he
accent?
doesn't
We're like,
have a
oh
weird
yeah, he sounds
accent.
like.
He's just Southern.
No, because he's like the straight cookie cutter guy that does everything by the book, and nothing goes by the book for him.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite
This is a
thing about
clever
King
show.
of the Hill is definitely whenever fucking Hank gets mad because I'm gonna kick your ass. It's so fucking good.
I think what
love
it is that Chris is dumb when he watches King of the Hill. That's the difference.
I love it. It's so good. Well,
So do you not like The Office then,
oh,
Kelsey?
God, The Office is so
No,
good.
I had a really hard time with The Office because like shock humor and cringe humor isn't my thing either, and The Office is mostly that. And so
It gets
when
better, but the
Oh, it
first
did.
season's rough. The
Oh,
first
yeah,
season's rough.
first season was really hard, and it did get better. I did watch all of it, and I watched the whole thing all the way to the end, and it
Office is
did
so
eventually get
good.
better, get horribly bad, and then get better after that again.
Ah.
But
So is there any kind of humor that you do
Yeah, no
like?
shit.
I'm just
Jesus.
Like,
curious.
no, I freaking love Futurama. Like one of my favorite
Okay.
jokes is like Futurama has incredibly stupid humor in it. It also has very intelligent humor, and I love that. And so like Parks and Rec, there was like Andy is incredibly stupid, but at the same time, like the way he delivers his lines, he shows you that his brain is trying to work things out. He's just real stupid, and so he's hilarious because you get to see like he's absolutely the whole.
Oh, so you pick and choose what you think stupid.
I think
get
it's just
No.
because it had a southern accent.
Yeah.
I understand.
No,
that's what it was,
honestly,
too.
like one of
Look,
the
I'm from
that's why she
Indiana.
thinks
I
it's
agree.
stupid, Chris.
no,
I'm trying to.
no, I disagree. I'm being painted in a bad light, and I just like it.
I'm just sitting here trying to think of who had the southern accent in the fucking Office to make Kelsey be like, well, this fucking show sucks now.
It's not about the Southerners. It's
Joe
not at
Joe
all.
Bennett. Whenever they became Saber and not Dunder Mifflin anymore, she's from Tallahassee. Yep.
Oh God, I forgot about
Yep.
her. Yeah,
Joe Bennett.
that
She
character.
was so.
That was a lot.
Yeah. She was definitely over the
That
top.
was a lot.
Her talks with Michael Scott cracked me the fuck up. Whenever she would say stuff and it would be Southern sayings that like I would get, and then Michael Scott not being a Southerner didn't understand it, so she's like, you better be on that boy's ass, Michael. White on rice. And he's like, I'm going to cover his ass like moss on a Mississippi tree stump. And she's like, was how I said it not good enough for you? Did you have to just go make your own saying? I was like, it was killing me. Oh, he would say so much dumb shit. I love Michael. God, the cringe is so good to me. I love it. I love it. If I could have a fucking boss like Michael Scott, that would be fucking great. I would love that.
I would quit.
Oh
I would quit. I would hardcore
God,
quit.
that would be so fucking funny. He does so much stupid shit.
I would love to see him fuck with Kelsey.
Oh man.
I would love
Oh, that would be in HR, and I would have a ton of money from sexual harassment lawsuit very fast. No way, absolutely
man.
not. And Chris would be chuckling in the corner, and it'd still be bad.
The
Like
entire time. It would be great. Oh my gosh.
you'd be like, "No, you're right. It was sexual harassment, but it was
Really
really
fucking
funny." And I'd be like, "No."
I just
no,
like
that's-
whenever they're
no.
talking about the whole sexual harassment day in general, and he brings in a fucking blow up doll, and he's all like, well, what if Pam brought a girlfriend in and they kissed, and I told everybody about it? And he's like, well, if they kissed in person, then yeah, that's PDA. And it's like, well, then what if I saw it at home? And then I told everybody about it, and they're like, well, I'm having troubles following you. And he's like, all right, we're just going to have to do a visual demonstration. Pam, you be girl number 1, and girl number 2 will be the blow-up doll. Pam, come up here. And Pam's just like, you're fucking kidding me, right? And he's like, Pam. Like, he just doesn't even notice what he says is just going over the line. It's so fucking good.
I'm pretty sure in that scene, the one you're describing, I was like on my couch like this, like hiding under and like watching it between my fingers, like this is the
Oh
worst.
my
So
gosh, that episode was so
So
good.
Glad it
Kelsey,
appealed to you.
that expression you have right there, that's how I'm gonna feel when I see the Sonic movie.
Oh gosh.
See how I got us back on topic there?
yes,
Really
no, I'm super
unsubtly.
appreciative.
You're just so hateful, dude.
What a segue.
It's only a bad segue because you're just so hateful,
Segue.
man. God, it's just
What? Me?
yeah, it's
yeah.
so negative. So negative.
Yeah.
I mean, when things are just so blatantly like cashing in on a name with no love or understanding
someone
for the
had to
product,
make the
it's a little
movie.
disappointing.
Someone had to make the movie. All right.
They didn't.
did.
They could have just not made a
We
movie.
need a Sonic movie. We need one.
Do
We don't have one. We need one.
We don't.
I mean, we
Dude.
have. the
Wait, don't we
terrible-
have one?
No,
The one that you love?
but that's all cartoon. I'm talking about real CGI. Like
I mean, are you gonna say that about Mario?
I was just about to
Have you
bring
ever
up. I
seen
mean, we have the
Mario movie?
terrible ass Mario movie.
Yeah.
We should get a terrible ass
Yeah.
Sonic movie. It'd be great.
Well,
Realistic plumbers with their ass cracks hanging out.
Oh no.
The realistic Mario.
Well, now
This
I'm kind of
doesn't-
into
the realistic
it.
Mario movie was terrible. It was so fucking bad.
What's a realistic one?
Yes, it's two
Kelsey, I
guys.
like that you're the only person that caught what I said there.
I didn't even hear you. But yeah,
Oh no,
good.
it was great.
yeah, no, that movie was fucking terrible. But yeah,
It was, but that's my point, is that all of these video game movies were like, well, this is a name that we know, let's just make something about it. And then they have like no understanding about what made this thing fun in the first place. I feel like that's what the Sonic movie is going to be. It's like they don't
God,
get
you're
it.
getting-
They're just
You're getting real close to describing like EA games making video games, though. Like it's
Yeah.
getting real close to that.
I mean,
well, I mean
that
that is
depends.
kind of my
That's like
point.
if EA Games was making a movie, we'd go see the movie, and then like halfway through the movie, it'd say you need to go buy another ticket to watch the DLC part of this movie, or else you can just leave.
If
it
EA
alone.
Games was making a movie, I would spend a lot of time bitching about the fact that I wasn't gonna
That'd
go
be so good.
because I don't trust them at all to make good content.
Oh, God, poor EA. Man, Kelsey's just
No,
throwing out-
not poor EA. Don't you give no,
Kelsey's just
no,
throwing
absolutely
all
not.
the salt.
They fucking deserve
EA,
it.
don't worry. Chris is in your corner. Not really. You're fucking terrible.
I was gonna say, no, you are not.
I like EA for one thing, and that's Madden. Other than that, I don't really fucking play anything by EA anymore.
Well, I mean,
Well,
but
yeah,
that's
it's
because
not
all they
playable.
make right now is just name drop stuff, which is what I feel like a lot of. And I mean, honestly, Detective Pikachu was kind of the same thing, where
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like part of what made it successful was just, look, Pikachu, you know what this is, buy it, you know. But they at least like made an effort and made a movie that was decent, you know, and like you could even tell that from the trailer that it. And it was also based on, it wasn't just based on Pokemon, it was like based on the game Detective Pikachu, which I think was helpful because that had a like narrative with a beginning, middle, and end.
So-
But the other kind of problem with Sonic is like, what's the story of Sonic? Like,
Depends on which cartoon they go after.
well, right, that's what I mean. Is there isn't one. There's not like an established story. It's like random crap is what.
Well,
these
Deadpool
stories
has a lot
are.
of stories.
Well, yeah, I mean that's true.
I mean, you
but
Lot of
you
comic
could really say that about any comic book
do.
character. I mean, honestly.
well, I'm not saying that it needs to have a singular story. What I'm saying is I don't think there's a lot of Sonic games that have a concise, compelling narrative built in.
All the newer
It's
ones
not like
do.
you have a lot of options to choose. Yeah, but the newer ones are terrible. You
There,
know what I
was,
mean?
there was one for sure that I played that was. It's,
Chris will fight this to the end. Let's just be
Oh,
clear.
yeah,
I
no.
mean,
Well, like as a
I don't know if the-
platformer, sure they were fine, but like that's why the Mario movie wasn't any good because at the time Mario had no story. It's plumber steps on dragon. That's the story, you know.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, the last one or the first one that came out on the GameCube, which was the first one of the New Age series Sonic, I actually enjoyed that game a lot. It was actually really, really good. But everything else after that was terrible, especially like the one where he turned into like a fucking werehog. That was fucking. That
No,
was
I
terrible.
actually thought that was kind of cool. I didn't mind
that was
Werehog.
Terrible.
Oh, he got like fuzzy arms, and he got like more furry, despite the fact that he is a hedgehog already.
Oh man,
Yeah, it was terrible.
that sounds amazing.
It was terrible.
And totally unnecessary, but very funny.
Oh well. I mean, some games did it right though. Like when we had fucking Link get turned into a werewolf, that was pretty fucking fun. Yeah, Twilight Princess, that game was fucking great. Oh god, that's what we fucking need. That's what we'll end this on. So, long time ago, little story. Long time ago, I got the biggest. This is the day that I realized that April Fools was made just to destroy people. This is the day. The fucking I don't know what company did it, and I'm pretty sure it's still out there on fucking YouTube somewhere. But a company went out there and actually made a fucking Zelda trailer. And this
Yeah.
shit looked good. Like live
It
action,
did look good.
it looked good. And I was so excited, and I was so naive. I even saw
So
it say
naive.
fucking it was like next year April 1st was the date for the movie, and I was just all like, oh my god, that movie's gonna be so good. Like my dad let that shit go on for like a week or 2 weeks. I was like, you do realize that like the day is April Fool's, right? Like April 1st.
That's so mean. He let that go on for 2 weeks.
Because he got me. My dad's the one that got me into Zelda and Final Fantasy. I grew up. He was the video gamer in the house, and I watched him play those. And then I was like, well, fuck, dude, these games look awesome. And so the first games I ever played was Final Fantasy VII and Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And so like we bonded over the fact that we both love Zelda and we both love Final Fantasy. So yeah, he thought that I was walking around just fucking like, dude, that Zelda movie's gonna be so fucking good. Link looks so fucking cool. Like, yeah, I was so excited. So that's what we fucking need is goddamn Link movie is what I was getting to. That's what we need.
I think
a real one.
isn't Netflix making a Zelda
I think they're making a show. I've heard very
they
little
are.
rumors about it, so I don't know if it's for sure, but it will be a show versus the movie. But Netflix makes some good shit from time to time. Some good
Yeah,
shit.
that's true.
They also said they were going to make an Overwatch show, but that hasn't
No,
happened
they
yet.
Did not say that. They did not say that.
I was through the grapevine. Okay.
You may be petitioning Netflix to make an Overwatch show, but they did not say
I
that.
need to make an Overwatch show.
It would be good.
I do think that's a good question though. Like, what would if we could pick one video game to get made into a movie that hasn't already been made into a movie
damn.
that wouldn't be terrible? What would that be?
Overwatch.
Mass Effect.
Huh?
Overwatch and Mass Effect is what I heard.
Overwatch.
Yep.
Wow, you guys had a very fast response to
Both
that.
of their favorite
Mass
games.
Effect.
I'm
Mass
like-
Effect's an amazing story, though. Like, there is an established story. It's incredible. It's epic. The music is
Damn,
wonderful.
She is just
Done.
shitting all over.
There is an
Overwatch
established story for Overwatch too. Okay. It's based on
comic book.
a bunch of stories that I don't truly know, but I know there's an established
There's
story.
a comic book that tells out the story of Overwatch, and the game. It was made after the game in order to help fans who love these characters understand more about the characters.
That wanted
Yes.
a story.
So
Yeah.
there is
Understand
an
why,
actual story
Like, every
done through
day
the
they try to
character.
kill each other in an arena for no reason. I think
Yeah.
if I had to pick one, like I'm trying to think of one that wouldn't be terrible, and I'm going with Painkiller, which is one of my favorite
I
games.
don't think
What's
I've
that
ever
one?
fucking heard of
It's sort of, it's kind of like Doom.
Oh,
It came out on the
Jesus. it. So it's a
PC.
Doom ripoff.
Your
That's what it is.
It is.
Yep.
Your primary weapon is a basically a lawnmower turned on its side. It's called the Painkiller. It's rotating knives, and the main character is
I
a
would be scared
hitman.
to death if that came at me.
I
Oh,
love
yeah,
this. Okay, so the
definitely.
main character though, this is great. He's a hitman that tries to leave the life because he's in love with his girlfriend and then dies in a car crash, gets sent to purgatory, and then demons trick him into killing certain other demons so like some I think Eve can come to power. But it's like the dumbest dumb story ever. And it's just about a hitman murdering his way through demons. And I'm like, that's the one I want. That'd be fun.
That's the one you want to be a
That's
movie?
the one I want to be a movie. Yeah. Yep.
After you were just complaining about Sonic not having a good plot?
Well, I think
Probably.
that could be a good plot. You know, they could even do it really episodic where like each episode is you like killing another demon.
Cody, how do you pull off a lawnmower on its side and using that as a weapon in a movie?
Well, I mean, it's already been done in a movie, Dead Alive, for Peter Jackson's early zombie films. That's the movie that like canonized the lawnmower as a
Yeah,
zombie
but you
killing
gotta
weapon.
understand, like that was zombies, like your classic slow. Like you gotta have some fucking arm strength to go up against a fucking demon with a gigantic ass lawnmower on its side. Like,
How
You gotta have some
awkward is
fucking
that though to
arm
have a
strength.
lawnmower as a weapon?
Well, let me tell you, if you watch the movie Dead Alive, extremely awkward. Although the scene where he tips the lawnmower on the side and then cuts his way through a horde of zombies is the most fake blood that was ever used in a scene. And it was measured in liters per second because they were literally just throwing buckets of fake blood on this guy. And then that guy went on to make Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
I don't want to
boy.
hear it about a lawnmower being able to chop through a bunch of zombies. My lawnmowers could barely chop through a fucking field of grass, okay? It's not chopping through a field of zombies.
Oh yeah, no, it was not believable, but it was fun.
God, does like the sidekick, like his son, have a weed whacker in the back? Like, I'll smack him, Dad. Like,
The sidekick is his mom that turns into a zombie and then eats
Oh.
him with his womb and then births him again at the end of the movie.
the fuck?
Peter Jackson was a strange man.
Do you think?
It seems like what I said wasn't true. That is 100% the climax of the movie.
I am not watching that
His
movie. What
Zombie
nonsense.
mom's womb vagina swallows him whole.
Oh my god.
He then uses a necklace that his girlfriend
know.
gave him, which is some weird symbolism. That's actual symbolism to
I
cut
was
his way.
judging you so hard right now for
Is
wanting.
Peter
to see the movie.
Jackson?
Ew.
Oh gosh, guys, you got to get on some of these
Hard
old,
ew.
terrible zombie movies.
Absolutely not.
If I sent you pictures of it, you would be disgusted. It is very
Yes,
gross.
I would.
Giant zombie mom is not pleasant to look at.
My delicate sensibilities are offended. This sounds horrible.
It's really bad. I mean, Peter Jackson was a garbage director for a
Sensibilities.
long time. He made a movie called Bad Taste. It was in bad taste.
anyways, my pick was Final Fantasy 7. Just throwing it out there. We never got to my pick, but fuck me, right?
I thought that your pick was Zelda.
No, I just said we needed one, and then you're all like, if you could pick one game.
Well, I assumed it was Zelda. I don't know. Sorry.
Although I was hoping that it was going to be close enough to when you said it, because what I said completely breaks what you said, because Final Fantasy 7 has had a movie already. But
Yeah, are those good or bad? I've
Spirits
seen like
Within
one of
is
them, but I
fucking
was 10.
trash. Do not watch Spirits Within. It was the first Final Fantasy movie they made. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It was whenever they first came over from Japan in America. They made Final Fantasy 7. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, this game's amazing." They then decided that within 1 year they were going to make Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 9, and Spirits Within the movie. Two of those three projects suffered, and one of them was the movie. Now, Advent Children, the Final Fantasy 7 movie, which I might be a little biased, is actually a really good movie, and it does have the ratings to back it up.
If I watch that with no context, will it make sense?
Maybe.
Okay,
hard-
because I feel like this should be a future review kicked off of this show for watching Advent Children and then being like, "Well, this is hot garbage."
Well, there will be a review show. I'll just make sure that I won't put you on it. Once we get there far enough in the DFU, Kelsey's going to watch the movie. Then we're going to do a review show. I'll just make sure you're not on it. and then we'll be good to go. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, turn on those notifications. That way you get notified every time we upload another video. And make sure to hit us up in the comment section below. Let us know. 1 out of 10. What do you think the Sonic movie is going to rate? Do you think it's going to be good? Are you hopeful for it? Are you going to be a Debbie Downer like Cody and just say it's going to be shit before you've even seen a second fucking trailer? Fix it, Sonic. Let us know how bad you thought Sonic was. Or if you thought Sonic was good, just don't even post that because I'll just delete it because you're obviously delusional. You don't know what you're talking about.
And a
Yeah,
troll.
go see actual Sonic and then come back and watch the trailer and then tell me he looks like fucking Sonic. He doesn't. Anyways,
I like his teeth.
that was so awkward. Fuck, that was so fucking awkward. You don't see Sonic's teeth, and out of nowhere he's just got normal fucking human teeth. It looks so fucking weird. And their reply back to that was, well, if we gave him like actual animal teeth, he'd look like a monster. And it's like he already looks like a fucking monster.
Oh, what if you have like ratty fangs?
Exactly.
Oh gosh.
That's such an awkward spot. Oh man.
I hope he has dog breath.
Jesus.
Ew.
Anyways, if you want to hit us up on a direct form of communication, hit the Twitter links. If you want to watch us play some video games, hit those Twitch links. But at the end of all this, hope you guys have a great rest of your week. We will see you next time.